Hello.
Hello.
I'm Meg.
And I'm Ro.
And this is the 936 podcast. We're going to start it differently every time, I think. I think that's going to be fun. I think that's going to be fresh.
Because if it's in uniform, it's boring.
Right. Well,
and if it's not in uniform, it's classy.
Well, I think that, sometimes I listen to a lot of podcasts, right? Mm-hmm. And so us doing the Meg and Ro in the morning thing, which was our previous podcast that we don't do anymore. Well, we may do it eventually someday, but a
comeback.
I really like when podcasts have uniformity, but we don't know what this podcast is necessarily yet.
No, we don't.
So it's going to be a surprise.
We just do a funky fresh every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
So, you are the one who suggested today's topic.
Yeah. So what was the guy's name again that I saw yesterday? The scientist or researcher?
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
DeGrasse. Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Is he related to Mike?
I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't know much about him. Apparently he's like a huge misogynist or something like that.
I just know him because he pops up on my TikToks of some weird questions, and I'm like, that's really weird, and it gets me into thinking. And then I like deep thoughts and overthinking things.
I didn't even know that Neil deGrasse Tyson had a TikTok.
I don't think he has a TikTok. They just grab clips
from what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they just put it on TikTok. Yeah. So I don't think he necessarily has a TikTok. If he does, congratulations. If he doesn't, then cool. I just so happen to see some of his clips on TikTok. Kind of like how celebrities don't have TikToks, but they'll post videos of themselves.
Right. That makes sense.
Or people of them, whatever.
Yeah.
So this DeGrasse, Tyson, not Mike Tyson, but Tyson, Mr. Tyson, we'll put it that way.
I think he's a doctor, but I don't really care because he's kind of fucking pretentious.
Well, Tyson, I don't know what he is either, but he asked a question to a radio host, and I already forgot, this is a bad intro, but whatever. He asked him, would you want to live forever?
The point of this is not Neil deGrasse Tyson or the radio host or anything. No. The question is the point.
The question is a point, and the question is, would you want to live forever? And then you piggybacked off of that question on, would you want unlimited money?
Right.
So we'll answer the first question. I want to ask you the first question. Would you want to live forever?
Absolutely not.
And if yes, why? And if no, why? And with not logical reasons, but a reasonable reason on why.
On why I don't want to live forever?
Correct.
Because that sounds exhausting. I'm sorry. I also don't want to watch all of my loved ones die.
Okay.
I think that it would be fascinating to watch the heat death of the universe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what are the parameters of living forever? You are immortal from everything. Disease, injury, you don't age. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Think of Twilight. Think of Vampire Diaries.
I was literally thinking Twilight.
Just think, you're not a vampire, but think of that.
Okay.
You are 750 years old, but you look 25.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't care for that.
Uh-huh.
I assume that I don't need to eat or sleep because nothing can affect me.
Right.
But I'm already kind of done now. At 22.
Yeah.
And that sounds really...
This is the Great Depression. The 20s year-olds.
Right. No, and the thing is that sounds really depressing. But the thing is, I have made peace with death.
Yeah.
I obviously don't want people around me to die. And I don't want to die right now.
Yeah.
That would kind of suck. If I died in a car accident today, that would suck.
Yeah.
Right? Because I have a lot of things that I'm looking forward to.
Sounds like your dogs disagree with that.
Yeah, that's true. You can hear my dogs in the background. But I just think that living forever, and I'm going to ask the question to the people on the live, would you want to live forever and why? If yes, and if no, tell me why. But I just think that sounds absolutely exhausting.
Yeah.
It sounds boring. I just don't have the drive for that. Even if I had unlimited money, if you think about it, if you live forever, right? Eventually, things are gonna get boring to you. You've probably, within the first couple 100 years, you're able to explore the whole world, try all different foods, meet all kinds of different people, go on all different sorts of transportation.
Yeah.
You have all of these things that you can do, but it's those people who go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
every year.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, oh, Disneyland's boring. Well, that's because you went every year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just think that living forever would be really boring and really exhausting. So, no, I don't want to live forever.
Right.
Would you?
I would not want to live forever, and here's my reasons why.
Okay.
It goes with that. It would get boring super quick.
Right.
So let's say I'm born 98.
Right.
And I live to be 100, but look 30 for the rest of my life.
Right.
Literally, the term rest of your life doesn't even exist anymore.
Right.
So it's all of life.
Right.
So all of life, I look 30. But let's say from 1998 to 2098, it's like, okay, cool. I done witnessed a pandemic, change of presidency.
Several change of presidencies.
Several. I've seen, and now I've was seeing like churches being burnt down, wars, shootings, wildfires, and I'm only 24, and it's like, okay, cool. What else is next? We have like some literal cyber attacks where iRobot from where Will Smith started in, like robots are literally going to take over the world now. Right. Technically they are, because our phones are robot, the cameras are robot, our computers are robots, but where robots will physically attack us, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, and we beat cyber war, awesome, sweet, cool, and somehow we're gonna reverse back in time and go simple times, and it's just like, I can tell all these stories, but to the newcomers, like new livers, whatever, it's gonna seem like it's super exciting. Like, I want to hear a war veteran story, right? But they're like, maybe they like telling their stories, and maybe they're like, I'm tired of telling these stories.
Right, exactly. I think that you would just experience, like, I mean, maybe if you are like a huge lover of video games or books or something that's constantly coming out, maybe you would enjoy it because then you have all of the time in the world to read all the books that you want and to listen to all the podcasts and to play all the video games. But then what happens when the technology is no longer there?
Right.
What happens when your Nintendo breaks?
Well, the thing is, there's nothing new anymore. Right. Like, it's gonna make life sound so depressing. But what we think is new,
right, has already been done.
It's already been done. Like, our parents, like, oh, that's OG. You know, that was way back then. Right. Somebody reinvented the sundial, where there's lights around the clock. You put your finger in the center, and it tells you the time. Right. And they're like, oh, there's new technology. Like, my boy, that's a sundial.
Right. That's existed for thousands of years.
That's the OG clock, and you reinvent it, make it look all high tech and bougie and with lights and technology, whatever. I'm like, no, there's nothing new. There are 32 types of movies. We've seen all of them, and there's nothing new about it. Right. Exactly. So, like, every movie if you're like, oh, I like this, but I don't like this, bro, it's literally the same movie. Right. Hallmark is a good example.
Right. They're all the same movie.
It's all the same movie.
Right.
Same plot, same storyline. Everything's the same. Lover in the beginning, they break up, they get back together, they break up, happily ever after. There are many movies just like that. Just different characters, different scenes, different quality of video. There's nothing new. And so I'd probably be, let's say the year 3000, right? The Jonas Brother years. Right. There's nothing new. I'm like, yeah, I lived through all this, but
you're probably, if you lived till the year 3000, you'd probably live through multiple more pandemics. Yeah. If not world wars, if not nuclear wars, you know, and then there's climate change to think about. And so, you know, I wish we had someone else here to like
piggyback off of
counterpoint.
Yeah.
Like somebody who would
like
want to
live
live
forever.
Right. Because I just don't see any benefits to living forever.
I did think about that. I did think about why it is a good thing. Well, it's never a good thing to live forever. Right. But why it would be beneficial to live forever. Here's why it would be beneficial to live forever. Okay. You know, we know the bad now. Right. There would be a way for us to prevent bad things to happen later on.
That's not guaranteed though.
With the privilege of being in a certain position, like in office or whatever. Because you're like, okay, let's say I'm congressman, right? Okay. And then it's like, yo, back in 2025, healthcare system was horrible. We legit got the money to not make it so expensive. Right. All it takes is 2 to 3 old people with glasses and, you know, pocket watches. Sign this document. Cool. Right. Insulin or what is it?
Insulin is used for diabetes and it's very expensive.
Okay, insulin. It's you know what? Instead of making it $300,
make it $3.
Is it a tablet or liquid?
It's a liquid you have to inject in yourself.
Okay, so instead of using like the syringe to inject it, I don't really know what.
Hold on.
Okay.
You've never met anyone with diabetes before?
No.
Wow.
I've never learned about insulin, never know how it's used. Never. That's why I'm.
What do they teach you guys in school?
They teach us on what happened in 1776. What is H2O? They teach us about the difference between blue fire, red fire, and green fire. Which one's hotter? Red fire or blue fire?
Blue.
Blue fire is fire.
Yeah. Hotter.
Blue fire is hotter. Yes.
I'm just sorry for,
Health class is sex ed.
So you don't learn about like
medical systems? No.
You don't learn about like what insulin is?
No.
Or like, okay. Wow.
Yeah. You learn that if you're in the medical field.
You know what? Maybe I will live forever to change the education system in America. Or Megan for 2035.
Maybe some of my ex-classmates are like, yo, we did learn about that. Oh, please show me the binder or paperwork or like this, our syllabus on where we did learn that. Because I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. Okay. Weird. Okay. So you're saying that if you lived forever, like if you didn't have a choice in the matter,
right,
that you would work your way up to become someone important to be able to help others.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at that point,
that's not a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee. But, it could be a possibility, maybe 1 in 1,000th of a chance that could happen. Mm-hmm. But it's a small possibility that could happen.
We've got 2 viewers right now, and I'm going to ask the question to you guys. Would you want to live forever? And if yes, why? If no, why? Give us your reasons as to why you would or would not want to live forever. Make sure that you, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're driving, wait until you've gotten to your destination to tweet us or send us an email or, leave a comment. Mm-hmm. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube,
there's a comment section right there.
There's a comment section. It's literally right there. You can give your answer right now. I'm going to wait and see if our viewers, we only have 2. Yeah. But if our viewers will participate.
Right.
So I get what you're saying about if you did live forever, trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah, because literally, what do I have to lose?
I guess nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
You're like, oh, you're going to poverty. Okay, but I'm still living.
Now, then there's the interesting thing of if you had unlimited money and you lived forever. Yeah. If you didn't have a choice, like you had to live forever.
Right.
And you had unlimited money, would that somehow fuck up the economy? Are you okay?
There's a spider on my leg.
There was a spider on your leg?
I just killed it. It's right there.
Oh my God.
It was a tiny spider. I thought it was my shoelace tickling me, but no, it was a spider.
Okay, so Q and Halky says no. Shad Frazier says no. At some point, you will be alone for eternity. That's what Shad Frazier says. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. I feel like you would be alone if you choose to be alone.
Well, it's hard. It's already hard enough to make friends.
It would suck if you found your true love like 5 times.
Right. Well, because then inevitably they're going to die.
Yeah.
And you will be alone.
And you can't be with them forever because they're like 60, look 60, and you're 600 and look 30.
Someone from West Virginia is calling me. Should I answer it on live?
Sure.
Okay. Hold on, guys.
Hello, this is your car's extended warranty.
Hello? I have the speaker on.
Nah, they're too scared.
You're being recorded on a podcast. Do you want to say anything?
Losers. Loser.
That was pretty funny. Okay, so we're back on live. For those of you who are on live, the person who was calling me didn't say anything, which was kind of weird. They were from West Virginia. Normally, they say something, don't they?
Yeah, I usually hear a geek, like a recording before I even talk.
Right.
What would they say? Both of them said no?
Both of them said no.
Okay.
Shad Frazier said that because you'd be alone at
yeah. And then it would suck if you met your true love 5 times. That's true. And then you couldn't be with him forever because you are technically forever, but your love isn't.
Well, and then if you're immortal, right? If you're going to live forever, no disease can kill you, no wound can kill you, you're not able to commit suicide, anything like that.
Yeah.
My fucking question is, at that point, what happens when the world ends? When the sun billows out and consumes everything? Because it'll do that before it dies.
Right, yeah.
it'll get bigger
Yeah.
and it'll consume the planets closest to it, and then it'll die.
Yeah.
What happens to you then? Think about that.
I think.
Do you survive that?
That's, I don't know. Let's say you do survive it. Let's say you do survive another Big Bang.
Well, so then my question is, do you feel pain?
I would want to feel pain.
Okay, so then you're feeling like the most excruciating pain ever. This reminds me, have you ever read the book, or did you have to read it in class? I Have No Mouth, But I Must Scream.
Mm-mm.
It's a science fiction horror novel where the world has ended and this computer program, like an AI, has taken over the world and has kept 4 humans as its like playthings. And 3 of the humans are able to like die. They're able to like die in some way, and there's only 1 human left, and like he's not able to die. The AI keeps him alive, and he eventually like becomes like this blob. Like he's not even a human anymore.
Okay.
And that's where the title of the book comes from. I have no mouth, but I must scream.
Right.
And that's kind of what like this whole situation is reminding me of, is like what happens to you. Like if you can't be injured in any way,
right,
but you still feel pain, is your body still intact? At some point, would you just be floating in space? That sounds scary as fuck.
I feel like you just be suffering at that point.
Like
because there's no oxygen.
Right.
So you would just be
choking.
Just choking for the rest of your life.
For the rest of everything.
Yeah. For the rest of time.
Right. And
sounds deep, man.
Right. No, it does. It sounds scary.
Wow.
I can't believe we've only been going for 18 minutes.
Feels longer.
Yeah, it does.
But but to your money question, or what do they say?
Oh no, I'm just looking. Shad,
okay.
Do you have any? It would come eventually. What would come eventually, Shad?
Probably true love. Not really. Nah. But the money thing.
The economy. Yeah.
The economy. You have unlimited. Not even money thing. Everything is free to you, basically.
Right.
Because if you're like, I want this, you give them this and you get it back. So technically, it doesn't even hurt you. Because if we spend money, it hurts us. Right. But if you have unlimited, then, oh, well, it doesn't hurt me at all. So basically, technically, everything is free for you. But let's put it money wise. So if you have to spend money every day and you live forever, you have an unlimited amount of money, life would just be super boring. And I put it this way because Grand Theft Auto, when you finish the game, you have everything. You have unlimited access to cars, guns, real estate, planes, jets, anything. And at that point, you're just riding the car, running people over, going to the military base, exploding things up. Right. You're like, okay, cool, whatever, game over. Come back to life. Hey, I lost all my guns. No problem. Go to the ammunition store. Buy everything all over again.
Right, because you have unlimited money.
You have unlimited money. Oh, snap. I need more money. Hey, lucky day. Your real estate income just came in today. You just made $50,000 in like 2 days. Okay, cool. I'm going to go buy a car or modify my car. At that point, there really is no excitement. Right. That's why.
Unless, like to your point, if you can't become like a politician in order to make things better, and you have unlimited money, right? You just go around doing good deeds. Yeah. Like paying off school lunches. Yeah. At every school in America. And people would be like, who is this vigilante? Who is this rich billionaire who's doing this? Because you would do it anonymously, right? So that way the government can't find you. Yeah. But I want to say real quick before I continue my thoughts. Shad said eternal suffering. Yeah. Eternal suffering would be inevitable with this situation if you were to live forever, right? Yeah, you could pay off school lunches. You could go and buy food for animal shelters, for food banks. Yeah. You could go to every hospital and pay off hospital debts. Like, you could make the world a better place. I would if I could live forever and I had unlimited money, I would want to know that there is some way to have an out. I would want to know that I could kill myself somehow when I was ready. Like if a genie or God or something came to me and said, you can live forever and you have literally an infinite amount of money, I would say, I want an out. Because then, all right, so I don't get sick. That's pretty cool. I can't get injured. Yeah. I can go around doing really nice things for people.
Ooh, I think
and then I could have an out.
I think there is an out.
Really?
Yes. Even if you can't die, you're not necessarily dead in this instance because you can just freeze your body and you just become unconscious.
Oh, I didn't think about the fact that you could sleep.
Yeah, I just not thought about that because you don't have to physically die. There are a whole bunch of conspiracies of like, higher ups having like saved their head, like Walt Disney, right?
Right.
Where they just save their head and they put it in this freezer and you can just sleep forever. And technically your body doesn't age because the cells and everything in your molecules in your body have like completely fell asleep or they're not moving at all.
Right.
They're not consuming anything or not destroying anything. It's just you're on standby mode.
Right.
And the order for you to not be on standby is to melt or be woken up. Kind of like, there's a like Ice Age, right? The mammoth was in an iceberg. He's not technically dead. He's just asleep.
Yeah.
With no heartbeat. But you're not dead though until you are brought back to life, have some heat in your body, whatever, then you're back to life.
Right.
So technically, you don't have to die. You just have to sleep for a very long time.
This brings, and I love sleeping. You know me, baby.
And so because hospitals have that injection where they just knock you out before surgery.
Right. Anesthesia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're still technically alive, but you can still sleep. You don't feel anything.
Right.
You don't feel it. You don't see it. You don't smell it. You don't taste it. You are just asleep. And then you're like, all right, cool.
That brings into question.
Like a coma.
Dude, did you just hear that?
I hear people outside.
No. It sounded like somebody was whispering into one of our microphones.
Oh, no. Maybe I'll hear it later.
You didn't hear that?
Uh-uh.
That was creepy as fuck. It was like somebody going...
Oh.
Like that. Into the microphone.
Probably your headphones.
What is happening? That was creepy.
So, yeah, you can be in a coma. Knocked the fuck out.
I'm like still stuck on this like ghost that was just whispering into one of our microphones. Okay, so then this brings into question, do we have souls?
What defines a soul? I'll look it up on my end since you have live.
Well, I don't think that we can prove the existence of a soul. I think we can prove the existence of consciousness.
Right. Well, I mean, there are videos of like a soul.
Right, but those aren't proven. Those are not scientifically proven.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I am the first one to say that I believe in ghosts. I believe in souls and spirits and angels and all those beautiful things. But the thing is that there is no quantifiable evidence that human beings or any being has what we think of as a soul.
Right.
Okay, did you look it up?
Oxford Dictionary says, the first definition, the spiritual or immaterial part of a human being or animal regarded as immortal. The second definition says emotional, intellectual energy or intensity, especially as revealed in a work of art or an artistic performance. That's what Oxford says.
So, yeah, this brings up a really good question of, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Everything has a consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Everything that has a nervous system. Plants have consciousness, animals, human beings. Right? If you have a nervous system, you have a consciousness. There are some schools of thought and there are some religions that believe that everything that exists has a soul, has a spirit.
Yeah.
The light stands that we're using right now, the phone, the camera has its own spirit, right? That's a really big thing in like Eastern philosophy and Eastern religion.
Yeah.
And so it makes me wonder, like, is that what living forever would be like?
Yeah.
Is that what already exists? Is that when our physical body dies, we still live forever? Because that's kind of the basis of like reincarnation, right?
Yeah.
And I firmly believe in reincarnation.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that I have been reincarnated because I can remember my past lives.
Right.
And so, is that what living forever is?
Maybe.
Maybe.
So it's a restart.
Right. Which, I'm mad that I don't have unlimited money, but it really gets you thinking about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because if you believe in the existence of a soul, something that is separate from your meat being,
right,
from your flesh and your blood and your brain, then living forever is a concept that has already been talked about in all of the religions, right?
Yeah.
Including Christianity. And you're Catholic, right?
Yeah.
So isn't that already like a thing?
Yeah.
Like you live forever because you have accepted Jesus, right? And so when you die, when your body dies, your soul will live on in the kingdom of heaven.
Yes.
The question then becomes, what is living forever considered?
Right. Let me reset the cameras because
You have thoughts?
Logic said it in his documentary one time.
Logic the rapper?
Yeah, Logic the rapper. He said this in one of his documentaries that I have on my phone, which I don't have the video version. I have the audio version. I just want to make sure I have the right one. I don't want to say the wrong one. But he talked about like immortal and reincarnation and like stuff like that. And it brought me back to that. So it was the Everybody album, but there's also a documentary on how he made that album.
Okay.
If you look there, that's a Italian art piece,
right?
But with his people in there,
right. That looks beautiful. Characters.
So on the Everybody album or Everybody documentary, he had like some religious points. He doesn't say what he is, but it's like a religious point. He can obviously tell because there's like this God, and then there's Adam, but Adam as an ATOM, not ADAM. So an atom, like a scientific atom.
Oh my God.
So we have no perception of time. We are currently living in the present, which is a present to us. And then maybe there's another form of past or future. But in this album, Adam meets God. And God was once Adam. And
this is a big theory.
In this form, in this documentary, Adam will understand life once he has lived everybody's perspective of life. So in the beginning of the documentary or beginning of Adam's life, he's just a father with a wife and a child.
Okay.
He dies because somebody crashed into him. Okay, cool. You meet God. Sweet. God's like, you know what? I'm going to take you back to the slavery times, and you're going to be the owner of slaves. And he's like, whoa, you're going to send a black man to own some slave? He's like, you're not black. You're going to be you're going to be reincarnated as somebody else.
Okay.
You will forget this conversation because we've had this conversation millions of times.
Oh, yeah. I forget what this theory is called because Logic probably had his own twist on it.
Yeah.
But I've watched a video about this before, about how every human being on Earth is the same person.
Yeah.
I forget what that video was called.
Because it's like, why is your dad and not my dad?
Right.
Why were you born the way you were born, but not like, okay, cool. And people I love TikTok for this reason because people are like, yo, I lived through that same experience. And it's like, oh, snap. Like, for example, like the map quest on the last video.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, we all lived through that. We know what that is like.
Right.
Or like, this is one girl on TikTok who like 2007's fashion. And it's like, oh my God, it was so cringe. But we all loved it.
Or like how when you were a kid, you would have the markers, right?
Yeah.
And you would put them all together and you'd make a marker sword.
Yeah, you're like the lightsaber, but it always breaks.
Right. We've all experienced similar things. And so maybe that's what living forever is. You know?
Because I believe in like on our birthmarks being our past like
injuries or whatever.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, people have like these gnarly birthmarks on their head, and it's either like burn or a crash or something were to happen like in their past life where like, yo, this like is wicked, like that's crazy. Or when people have birthmarks on their back where they got stabbed, where they got shot, or something impaled in your body or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I believe I appreciate Logic's theory or the theory in Logic's own twist where he played it into music, and like not each song, but like every other song related to that theory. And it's just like, yo, this is crazy because what if that is true? We have no point. We have no way of proving that.
Right. No.
There's no way of proving reincarnation.
Right. I mean, this is a very deep and philosophical discussion that has been had for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Right. Who was it who said, "I think, therefore I am"?
Oh shit! I don't know.
Oh shit! I feel really dumb for not knowing who said that. But Billie Eilish has a song called "I Think, Therefore I Am."
Okay.
but she's quoting like a philosopher, right? And so, yeah, I think that at the beginning of this podcast, when we very first asked the question, would you want to live forever? Mm-hmm. And it's like, Megan lives forever, Ro lives forever.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
No, we do not want to live forever.
But if the
It'd be horrible, honestly.
If the answer is being reincarnated and not really fully remembering your past lives, or dying and your soul going to the next plane of existence, the answer is yes.
Oh, definitely. I do want to be reincarnated.
Right.
And maybe it's a reset. Like, yo, you didn't do good on this life. You know, how about you restart and like you don't remember, but you've somehow in your head have it downloaded that you know that experience. So you're like, all right, cool. Instead of doing it this way, let's do it like this instead.
Right.
So maybe right now, as we speak and as you are watching this video, maybe you are the reincarnated version of your past life, or maybe this is your first time in this world, and you have, and people are like, I don't have a birthmark. Congratulations. This might be your first time on Earth. Right. And it's like, all right, cool. If you messed up now, I think about everything's temporary. Your parents are mad at you. Okay, that's temporary. You lost a lot of money. Okay, that's temporary. You're going to gain it back. Your parents are not going to be mad at you forever. Right. You know, I mean, there are, you know, depending on the situation, but in like normal circumstances, everything is temporary. Nothing is permanent except for tattoos.
Not even those.
You can actually laser those off and cut them off.
You can laser them off. They fade.
The only thing permanent is your skin and your blood.
No, that's not even that. That's not even permanent.
Your blood?
No. Because you're constantly regenerating, like your blood supply.
Okay, your bones are the only thing that's permanent.
No, the cells in those regenerate too.
Your heart.
I don't have enough. I don't know enough about
the heart. You can't replace it. I mean, okay, you can't replace it.
Can you? Oh,
yeah.
Heart transplants. Yeah.
Your eyes are permanent unless you take them out.
I think that most things in your body eventually regenerate, though.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, nothing in this life is permanent. Even the decisions you make, right? Like, okay, actually, I have one thing. There are two things in life that are permanent. Killing yourself and creating a new life.
I was going to say taxes.
Oh.
J. Cole said it, you know, life, like death and taxes or something like that. I think it was J. Cole that said it in one of his songs.
I think that death is permanent in the sense of if you kill the body that you currently exist in, that's over. Yeah. And also, like if you have a baby. Yeah. Like if you give birth to a child, like if you create a child and give birth to it, that is obviously permanent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Because you just created something new and you can't reverse that unless you like
go back in time.
Right. Exactly. You can't ever reverse the fact that you like have created a new person. Right. Like our parents can't go back and say like, oh, we don't want Megan and Ro. Like, yeah. That's not possible.
The theory of I brought you in this world, I can take you out, you know.
Well, the thing is that you already had me and raised me, so I am a permanent person. Yeah. I think it's all very interesting. If you just ask the question, do you want to live forever? I think a lot of people would say no. Yeah. But if you get into the nitty-gritty details like we have, the answer is yes.
Yeah. In the reincarnated form.
In the reincarnated or, you know, going to heaven or whatever. Yeah. We could have a whole podcast on, like, whether or not we believe in the existence of heaven or hell. Yeah. That would be really interesting.
It would be interesting.
But we're not philosophers.
We're not. We're just two dummies talking.
Who wanted to have a conversation.
Yeah. About life.
Yeah.
And some people might think about it as like, yo, this is like a really deep topic. Or some people are afraid to have these type of topics. So it's better to listen in than to talk about.
Right. Right. I do want to ask you a question. How much time? Okay.
We're at 37.
Okay, cool. So question for you, kind of at the end. This could be a whole nother podcast, is like, okay, so obviously you don't want to live forever in the sense of you right now in the same body that you're in, right, living forever. Yeah. But when you die, do you want to be buried or cremated or?
I want to be cremated.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you want your ashes? Like, what do you want to be done with those?
I want them to be. I just want to be scattered where I was known the most. So like, for example, not in this building, but like around this building. Right. Because I think it'd be kind of weird to like be like thrown into somewhere like in it. Because I'm like, I don't want my spirit to be like roaming around, be like judging, like, are you sure that's someone's editing? Like, you doing that wrong, bro. Like, you should do it like this instead. So I'd be like thrown outside of the perimeter. Where like, I was once here, which is where I was known. So like different places where I was known. So like whether it be here, whether it be like at a specific car location at my house, so stuff like that where I want to be known. And on top of that, like a little bit from my background nationality. So like a little bit thrown in my dad's hometown and a little bit thrown in my mom's hometown. And so just stuff like that. Because I believe in like we shall be converted to dust. Well, convert to dust because we were once made by dust. Whatever the term is.
Isn't that biblical?
Yeah.
You should know that. You're Catholic.
I rep, I represent. But I don't know the rules and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
I'm a representative,
You identify as Catholic, but you don't know all the ins and outs of the Bible.
Yeah.
From dust to dust, ashes to ashes. It's something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah, I want to be cremated also. Because the idea of being put in a coffin forever
sounds disgusting.
And it's very scary to me.
Yeah.
So I would rather be ashes. Where would I want to be thrown if I had to be? Probably somewhere like on my family's property.
Yeah.
And in Japan. In Nara. Yeah. Probably.
And it's cheaper too if you get cremated.
Right. It is. Very much so.
Yeah.
Do you have any other final thoughts about like the question, would you want to live forever?
Not really. I think we summed up a lot. We said a lot.
We sure did.
And I would just highly suggest people, don't, take care of your body. Don't do anything dumb. Watch what you do. And this is literally YOLO. You really only live once in this
In the
time.
form that you're in now.
The form that you're in, it's YOLO. So don't do anything dumb or stupid.
Right.
Don't live life like it's your last, but don't treat it like it's your last. I mean, don't
go doing. My first thought when
whatever.
You're saying that is like, don't do heroin.
Yeah, don't do heroin.
Don't do coke.
Don't do coke. You can, drink Coca-Cola.
Right.
Don't drink a lot of it because then kidney stones start to kick in.
Right. Just be good to your body because it's right now the only one that you have.
Yeah.
So, the next episode will probably be something a lot more lighthearted.
Yeah,
we just did this because that was something that Ro wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So if you didn't like this episode, you can blame him for it. I had nothing to do with it except for the fact that I discussed it with him.
Or if you do like this, let us know and we won't talk about it again.
Right.
Because one is always the best. The second time,
Right. So yeah, if you agreed with anything we said, let us know. If you disagreed with anything we said, let us know. You can find us at 936 podcast everywhere. That is the numbers 936.
Yep.
But on like podcast platforms, we are the number, like the word 936 NINE 36 podcast.
Yep.
All capitals.
Yep.
We're available everywhere except for Apple Podcasts right now. And there's a couple places that I need to submit to, but that's it.
Yeah.
You will be seeing this. When did we release our first episode?
On Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess you're hearing this on a Monday. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let us know if you did. Let us know if you didn't. You can find me at Slowpoke Megan everywhere.
You can find me at _Rogelio_O _O.
On Instagram.
And you can call me at 936 none of your business.
Right. So yeah, that's today's podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the 936 podcast.
Besos. Mwah.